Hello, welcome back to Property Spy. This is the channel where we appraise properties, we value properties as investors, and we decide if they are worth going into in terms of purchasing and adding to our portfolios or purchasing for our clients. We use a tool called VanApp to appraise for different strategies, so be it buy to let, flip, construction, conversion, new build. We're able to do all of those appraisals in quick time and value like a local. So today I will be appraising a property that will be going to auction in the coming days, and the idea is to see whether the figures we're being presented with are actually making a deal or not a deal. I mean, right now in May 2021, the property market is so hot. There are about 13 purchasers to each property that comes on the market, so that's being reflected in auctions and reflected in estate agents across the country. But today we are going to appraise a property that will be going to auction in June. It's a property in Upper Holloway, so this one on the screen. But before I go into it and we look at it a bit more, I saw another property that one of my sources presented to me. This one on Sydenham Road. It's a nice property, but the reason I wanted to mention this is that the agent that brought this property to me told me that he could get it for me at £475,000. Now, if you look here, the guide price is £350. So, I mean, I did my appraisals and I told him the numbers didn't work. Now, looking at it here, I'm thinking, well, did the agent add £125,000, or the auctioneer has put this on the market at £350 to drum up some interest so that there could be a bidding war in the auction room? Or has the vendor seen the light and realized that £475,000 is too much to pay? This is one I would want to look at a bit later. But that being said, with the VanApp tool that I use for my appraisals, I was able to detect quite quickly that this would not be a deal. There are other issues as well with this construction. It's on the high road. There isn't much of a garden, and there isn't much of any space to do any storage and stuff whilst you're doing works. It doesn't make it impossible to develop, but these are complications that are added to the construction and could potentially add to the cost. Of course, if you know how to solve that problem, then it's not a problem. Okay, so let's go back to the property I want to look at today. It's this one, 4 Lansdale Road. Why do I like it? I like buildings. I like large buildings because straight away you can you start to ask the question: can I convert it to flats? Can I do a conversion on it? Can I do a flip? Can I do a buy to let? What type of strategy will work here? Would I do a HMO? And what would generate the most income? Obviously, it depends on your strategy and your plans for your investment. But on this property, it said it's already arranged as 3 self-contained flats, and one of them is tenanted, not all 3. You see the income, 7,000. You know that there's a bit more that can be gotten from this flat if you know the area, or if you have an idea as to what rents are in London. 7,000 is too many, is too little. So I looked for the legal documents. There were none. They're not yet ready. So of course you need to get your solicitor to review any legal pack. Just make sure that everything in the pack is suitable for your investment strategy, and make sure that you can attain what you want to attain from the property in the end. For instance, if you want to turn it to a HMO and the legal pack specifically says you cannot run a HMO in this area or whatever, so there might be a restrictive covenant or something, or any number of things, right? There might be things presented on here that are not true when you read the pack, so you just don't know what might be hiding or lurking in the woods. So you get your solicitor to review it, unless you're a solicitor yourself, and then decide if you want to go ahead. So on this one, on the face of it, it's already 3 flats. So what could we do? There's nothing in the legal section of this, so I went to the auctioneer's website, looked through the property. I must say the property is a lovely property. It seems like it was recently decorated. The floor plan looks like it's a large floor space. So I was thinking, well, could we split some of these flats into two, create two flats? Or would you want to do HMOs? HMOs will work in this area. The income should be fairly okay. Then you look at the second floor. The second floor is smaller than the first floor. Okay, so it's not that great, but you can still do a multi-unit. Looking at the space, you got a bedroom, you got top flat kitchen. Yeah, we don't have the EPC or any measurements for each flat. Now, the ground floor flat, we can't see internals. But if we look at, I can imagine that the ground floor will be similar size to the first floor. And this is a guess. Again, this is why you should go see the property yourself and make sure what the agent is saying is actually true. So first floor, let's see if I can tantalize you with a few internal pictures. How'd you get in here? I was clicking around, not too dark. Okay, so that's upstairs. If we go into this bedroom, this is typical London. I say typical Holloway. I see these flats when I drive through Holloway, and you just wish you had one of them. It looks so nice, and you want to live in this area. This is a very clean, very nice looking flat. Now, again, I don't know if this is how it really looks now. This may have been pictures taken when the flat was recently refurbished, and you might go there now and it's been thrashed. So again, you need to go have a look. Is that tape over the toilet? Okay, that's interesting. Is this no, this can't be a repossession, can it? No, I'd be surprised if it is. I don't think it is. But it's something to check when the paperwork comes out. Now, looking at here, it says it's been in the same family ownership for approximately 40 years. So that's interesting. So what do we do? What I'd say is, okay, so the garden is also let separately. So that's some income there, it seems like. Okay, so you can arrange viewings. You probably might not be able to see the ground floor. Okay, so again, with auction properties, look at the legal pack, look at any of the fees, look at any special conditions of sale, and any other documents that are part of the pack, any other additional costs that you might incur before you go. So this one should be a fairly straightforward one to appraise. It's not going to be a new build because the area is set. The line of the terrace is set. Nobody's going to let you destroy the end terrace and then rebuild it unless there's a structural problem, which again you need to check when you're doing your viewings. But if someone's living there, I think the structure should pretty much be okay. See if you can get access to the ground floor and see if there are any issues like damp and the like, and heating issues and boilers and kitchens and all of that stuff. These things will cost you money afterwards if you purchase this property. So I'm not looking at this for a new build. I am not looking at this for conversion. It's already converted. What would be interesting though is if that first floor space is large enough to be converted into two flats. So for instance, if it's as large as 100 square meters or 112 square meters, unlikely. But if it is, you can convert it to two 1-bed, 2-person flats. Potentially. If not, you might be able to get 2 studios, depending on what your strategy is and if you can get tenants. But you can definitely convert them to HMOs if you are inclined to operate HMOs. In this area, you definitely get tenants from what I've seen, and you would also want to think about this whole pandemic situation and people not wanting to live in such close proximity to others. I mean, the vaccine may have changed things, but yeah, you just never know. So it looks really nice. Nothing of a concern here. but again, you have to go and see it. So let's pop over to our appraisal tool and see what that gives us by way of valuation. Now, what would we be valuing for? I would be valuing for a buy to let, HMO. I'll be looking for the EPC for this property, and I'll be looking to do a flip. So if you took the property and split the lease, if the lease isn't split already, and you sold them as separate flats, how much money would you make? So those are the sorts of things we'll be looking at. So now you go to valak.io, you log in, you start stacking. Then we go to a new appraisal. We've got the postcode, haven't we? Which is N19 4JZ. N19 4JZ. Okay, so this was number 4, wasn't it? Just be sure it's 4. 4 Lansdale Road. Click there. Okay, so we're doing 1100. What's that? Okay. Property type, it's residential. Property status, we'll just do auction. And we submit for Mega Stack. Save that, go in there. Right, so so you've got flat C. Okay, that's not great, is it? So flat C, I'm assuming, is the one at the top. It's got 2 rooms exactly, but it's only 39 square meters. So 39 square meters isn't large at all. This is barely a 1 bed. So 39 square meters. Flat B is 63 square meters. And then do we have flat A anywhere? We don't. Okay. So what you're looking at here is the EPC from this area, and this tool arranges it in order of what it thinks the property, the matching property would be. So that's why flat 4 is at the top. So the flat A isn't on here, but I would say that flat A, which is a ground floor flat, would be a similar size to the first floor, which would be 63 square meters. Okay, and if we tally all of that up, we get 165 square meters in total, approximately. So we go over to here. We say, okay, we don't really want to. If we click one of these, it goes off and starts doing the appraisal straight away. But what we can do is we put 2 bed for the middle floor one, and then we do, let's do that. Let's hope it finds some deals. Okay, what does it find? Okay, it's all red everywhere. So there's no deal to be had here, but let's turn this to 165 and then tell it to get appraisals. Okay, so it's going off in the background. It's checking buy-to-lets in the area. It's checking. Okay, so it says you can do a serviced accommodation, which is interesting. And you get 3 units. Now, this being London, you ask yourself, do you want to do serviced accommodation? Yearly cash flow is 24 grand, not bad. And this is cash flow, i.e. cash flow positive. Here, offer amount saying 800,000 to do a flip. To do a buy to let, offer amount 169 if you want 10% return. Of course, we know that returns in London are just really poor. So new build, again, that's not going to happen. For how much is the offer? 618 to purchase it and rebuild it. That's 3 units. HMO 7. You can get 7 units in that property. Okay. So 7, saying 366. Well, it's seeing this as a construction rather than like a rent to rent or rent to HMO. So there might be some legs here to do HMO. Conversion, again, that's only marginally more. You can offer marginally more than the new build, so that makes sense. So for me, based on experience, I would say the two options that are worth looking at would probably be the flip and the HMO. Let's look at flip. Let's look at HMO. Then decide which we want. We'll go for flip first. So it comes here. If we assume that we don't have some of these costs there, okay, so that's 13 grand. Maximum offer is 811,000. We've got these three properties. Okay, so sale price is 170,000. I think we could achieve higher than that. Okay. What other costs? Refurb, maybe minor refurb for the ground floor flat. Some of these costs you could probably take out, like this charity one. You could take that one out if you're not inclined to pay for any charity thing. So operating costs. So this is really operating costs whilst you're doing the work. And project duration will not be 12 months. Probably make that 6 months. Cool. Let's see. 12 months. Okay, so that's not quite right. Okay, let's start a new one. Okay, next flip. Let's go next. It's going to be whatever. Let's say 6 bedrooms. Duration, let's see what that's that. Let's see. Okay, so it's done another appraisal for us. Okay. Okay, so what we can do is, it's found a 6-bedroom house, but we're looking. Okay, that's the standard default. Let's see, 277 profit. So the return on investment is greater than 20%. Profit amount is greater than average wage. Okay, let's look at this one. That is 897 offer amount. Right, yeah, so we're still talking similar sorts of values. All right, let's look in the area to see what what's this 2-bed, so 2 1-beds. Okay, there'll be different sizes. Okay, so what we could add in here actually is the size of the property for the flip. If you did a conversion, you would get the flip as well, or the sizes, but not in here. So flip assumes you are just going to flip this on and not do any construction. Let's have a look at the size of the. Let's do a video. And so you've got 3 bedrooms. So let's see what 3 bedrooms in this area. That's fairly large. 3 bedrooms. So you've got this thing, sold prices and sale prices. Let's go sale prices, seeing that the area is quite hot. For sale prices, So ValUp checks the area and gives you sort of rough prices. Okay, what values? Flats. Okay, this doesn't tell us how many bedrooms, does it? 475. Okay, 475 for sale prices for 3 beds. Let's look at sold prices. $690,000. Okay. So this is all in the area, 690,000, 8A. Roughly, it might be similar size. Okay, 690, 950. Okay, it's not telling us the. Okay, let's get the sale price. Oh, no, I've done that already. There's the sale price per square foot. What's that? 749. Let's say you're even at the top end. If you're at the top end and you've got 63 square meters, so that's about 650,000. Okay, so if we go back to the appraisal. Oops, it should return to the scheme, shouldn't I? Where's that one? Can't remember which one now. I think it might be template 2. Let me try that. Yeah. Okay. That's better, isn't it? From us, it's that. You got that. This is interesting. The top one would not fetch this amount. This is pretty much half the price of the others. So I would change this to about 350. And that adjusts developer's profit of 20%. Total income 1.7 million. Yeah, offer amount still 862. So it still wouldn't work as a flip. Yeah, so if you're going to offer on this, it's still around that 860 as an investor. Again, depends on what your strategy is. You might be able to do less or get more or whatever, but that's it. Cool, what's that? Default. Try that. Yeah. Okay. So if we go back to appraisals and try the HMO option. So for the HMO, you'd have to do some construction. 165. Let's build a scheme automatically. Okay, so 709. Yeah, all of these are so high. So GDV of 1.811 million. Okay, let's go for this one. So it's got 7 units, 20 square meters each. Rent per month 1,300. So double room, shared bathroom. Okay. So that's the price in the area, £1,300. But the construction cost is quite high, which is why it's if it's 1,300 and you want a yield of 10%, then it's 1,1092 million. That's the capital value, and then doing a residual from that 1,092. Total cost 671, build cost 262,000. Okay, yeah, so HMO is not going to work either, not unless you're prepared to take a lower yield, in which case then everything starts going up. But you're better off then if you take a 5% yield. Okay, and this is the build cost per area in this region. So yeah, so on this occasion the property hasn't quite worked, not for a flip, not for HMO. You could probably try buy to let. You can subscribe to the site and work things out for yourself, and just try the buy to let strategy and other strategies on that page. Serviced accommodation seems to work, but in London there's a 90-day rule, which means that you shouldn't really be doing serviced accommodation for anything longer than 90 days in a year. And if you do carry on, then you need to watch your back. But on this occasion, thank you very much for joining me. I want to see your comments. I would like to know if there are any issues or any suggestions as to how we could monetize this property. It will definitely sell because it's in London, it's in Holloway. That area holds its values. The properties look huge and nice. The ground floor rent at £7,000 seems very low. But this, when I've done this appraisal, it's not giving me any confidence that the buy-to-let would work. HMO might be close, buy-to-let might be close as well if I change the yield to something low. But we're investors, we're developers, and we want to do the development, pull our money out or pull our investors' money out, and then move on. So if you want help with your sourcing or finding properties, do let us know. We can do some of this work for you. Just put a comment in the comment section or reach out on valapp.io. Thank you very much for your time and happy investing.